Okay, and we're back for another full weekend. Lauren is finally back after her... I said the sentence last time, I don't say it this time. Sarah's with me in the back.
Hello.
So we just got out of Much Ado About Nothing. I'm gonna roll down the windows because it's already stuffy in here. So,
It's roasting.
what was that?
It's roasting.
Oh, no. I've had worse.
I'm shrouded in darkness once again.
You can turn on the backlight if it helps.
Trying to. There we go.
There we
Awesome.
go. Okay. All it ends well. All well that ends well. Anyway, so as Much Ado About Nothing is the Shakespearean play directed by Joss Whedon, one of my favorite directors, and
Same here.
Same here.
I freaking love this movie.
Me too.
Me too.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, we're all in agreement. We all loved it. We all had a great time.
So review over. See you next time. No. But no, it's like this is actually a really good movie. A lot of people are like, a few people are hating this movie. I don't know why. I mean, it's basically Joss Whedon spent filmed this in like what, 2 weeks? I think it was, something like that.
12 days.
Like 12 days.
Wow.
So yeah,
People in less than a month. He organized it, and
he basically just called up all his buddies from his old movies. He goes, "Hey, you guys want to be in a movie? Want to do Shakespeare? Sure, come on down." So you have Nathan Fillion, who's fucking awesome.
Yes.
And you have the drug addict from Cabin in the Woods.
Which one was he?
He was one of the leads. He was like the one of the I can never remember Shakespearean names.
The Prince?
He's the one that's got to marry Hero.
Claudio.
Oh,
Claudio. Yeah, he was the drug dealer. He was the drug addict in Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
Oh, he was.
Yeah. Just such a radically different character that you don't recognize.
Yeah.
That's range.
So yeah, then there are the few people I didn't really had.
It had Simon Tan from Firefly in it
know.
too.
Yep, it had the doctor. Yes. Yep, it had Britt and Nick in there from YouTube, which surprised me. Britt and Nick is people who run this YouTube channel I watch a lot of times. So it's like, wow, Joss Whedon actually guest starred in one of their videos, which I guess is how they knew him. So
What character
cool.
did he play?
they played like the two bumbling officers that Nathan Fillion was ordering around.
Okay.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So I was like, well, okay, that's pretty cool to see. So it's like, yeah, it's just, I had a lot of fun with this.
Me too. I also heard that Joss Whedon did this on a very low budget by Hollywood standards.
Pretty much, I'm pretty sure they filmed this at his house.
Yeah, they shot it at his house.
Oh, cool.
The camera that the lady was holding was a Canon 5D Mark II, and they shot
You recognize that off the top of your head?
Oh, I researched it.
Oh, okay.
But they shot it on a Red Epic, and I think they...
That's a lot of technical terms that I don't understand.
I know. But it's a good,
But it sounds fancy, so I'm going to take your word for it.
Yeah.
I'd be impressed if you can recognize that just by looking at it like, oh, that's a Canon XT5. It's like it's pulling numbers out of my ass and it sounds just as fancy. Oh, that's a double XR T22 500.
Exactly.
So you don't Google that. Don't fact check that. But yeah, it's like, the thing about the movie kind of interesting to me is like, it is very low budget, so it has a very indie feel to it. It's all shot in black and white.
Which I loved, personally.
Yeah, and I thought that was, the thing is like, it doesn't rely too much like what other Shakespeare movies do, like it requires like huge visual set pieces, or like Hamlet's a good example of this, the 1996 version I think it is.
Oh, okay.
It relies on big, huge, heavy set pieces with like lots of like armor and costumers going on. This one is it's very basic. It's very to the point.
Yes.
Like it's modern with Shakespearean language, but doesn't throw in your face too much on it's modern. That being said, it's still distracting me seeing an iPod pop out of nowhere.
Yes. Shall we hear the
tunes?
Hear the tunes. They pulled out a fucking iPod.
And start swaying to like some new agey jazz.
I think it was kind of self-aware that it was a bit out of place, so I think it kind of worked from a comedic standpoint.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was like, it didn't bother me too much. Occasionally it's a bit distracting.
And two of the matchmaking characters fist pumped each other.
Okay, that was hilarious.
I thought a lot of those references and plays on theme and time.
Yeah, it does.
Worked well. I thought it.
I thought so.
I mean, I thought it was just kind of an odd yet kind of perfect director for a Shakespeare play, because like Joss Whedon is so well known for his dialogue and for like just his quirky style of directing. But of course, he put him with the master of dialogue from like pretty much everyone regards as the master of dialogue and language is what I'm looking for. So it's kind of interesting to have these two kind of pair together, and I think again it works well to Whedon's style.
Yeah, and I thought the flow with the music and the editing, everything was kind of flawless in a way. I really liked how the movie flowed. It gave.
Well, it's like not to mention like since it is such a simplistic style, a lot of it is carried on the strength of the actors. And as my first play I ever did was actually Shakespeare, so I can say personally just
Good play.
As You Like It.
Oh.
I was in that play too.
Nice.
Really?
Awesome. I was Lewis. I had like 2 lines.
I had LeBeau. I had 1 monologue.
Nice.
Problem is, like, the thing I was doing Shakespeare is I admire any actor who can do Shakespearean language well at all, because Shakespeare is so complicated, so convoluted, and so many fucking syllables that it's hard to get out in a convincing manner without thinking, okay, I just need to get this word just right. I can't flub it up. But so to be able to, like, these actors are very talented, and they do very much carry the story along.
Yes.
And they make it understandable whether you actually understand the language or not. You can still tell what's going on.
And they did all that on a limited time frame.
Exactly, like in like 12 freaking days.
Though they do have, apparently I was watching an interview with Nathan Fillion, actually, and they have, like, brunches where they reenact Shakespeare plays.
Nice.
Joss Whedon sends out mass emails and gives everybody their parts, and
That sounds like something he would do. Yeah.
what play it would be. So
Sounds like fun.
Now,
Yeah.
that being said, like, Nathan Fillion is a very small part in this one, but out of all the characters, I mentioned these guys earlier, but it's like, out of all the characters in the movie, he just so flawlessly just delves into that language, into that dialogue, just without any sign. Like, it sounds like he just talks like every day in Shakespearean language. Like, he just so pulls it off so completely flawlessly. And
his facial expressions were
yeah, they match
too.
with the language. And again, this is Shakespeare is a complicated language. There's
It
a lot
is.
of you really have to read next to a dictionary every time you look at a Shakespeare play. Pretty much, I know. At least I do. I don't know. I'm not steeped into the Shakespearean dialogue. But the stuff like that is like, all these actors clearly are very talented, and it really shows, especially since they only shot this in 12 days, just makes it all the more impressive they got these performances out of there. I mean, the story is very basic. Out of all Shakespeare plays I've seen, this is probably one of the least sexist.
Yes.
At least not Taming of the Shrew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that one. Anyway,
I have mixed feelings about that one. Like, some parts of it I love, and other parts really get under my skin.
I know, I was more annoyed by... So the moral of the story is, if a woman doesn't like you, just break her will and she'll fall in love with you. That's basically
that's
the storyline for Taming of the Shrew.
that's the part that
Yeah,
gets under
and I was
my
like,
skin.
No, I don't go with that. Anyway, back to this one is a much more simplistic story. It's basically about a prince who goes visits what is he, like a friend or?
Don Pedro goes to visit.
He's like a count, isn't he?
Some guy.
Well, they
Agent Carter. He goes to visit Agent Carter. All right.
well, they're
A
both-
nobleman of some sort.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he goes to visit Agent Carter from S.H.I.E.L.D. and hey, come on, that's how everyone knows him from now.
Don Pedro, he has a bastard
Who
brother, Don.
Played by the Doctor from Firefly.
Who, may I just say, it was odd but refreshing to see Simon play this
Kind of evil person.
this sleazy, manipulative, horny asshole, basically.
Totally different from Simon Town.
Completely.
Yeah.
Simon Town.
It was very interesting, and he still looks great on screen. He's still incredibly charismatic, even though this character is awful.
Which kind of is, so what the story is like, the drug dealer from
Claudio.
Capital
Falls in love with Hero.
falls in love with Hero, which is Agent Carter's daughter. I'm calling him Agent Carter because I don't remember his name.
Tianto. I can't remember how it was pronounced. It was a T.
Everyone who watches my show knows I'm absolutely terrible with names. I'll pick the first one I can cling to and go with that. Anyway, so he falls in love with her, and of course the prince decides, okay, I'm gonna set you two guys up. So well, that happens, and the brother, like the evil brother played by Simon, basically looks at him and goes, I feel like being an asshole, so I'm gonna break them up.
Pretty much.
That's all his motivation. If you listen to it, it's like, you know what? I'm kind of bored. I think I'm going to ruin a wedding.
And he does.
And he does, but with 2 evil henchmen.
Yes.
One
Which
blonde
was,
chick.
Conrad.
Baraccio.
Are you IMDb'ing it right now?
No, I'm trying to figure out how to pronounce the other guy's name.
Yeah, the evil blonde chick was Conrad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lianto.
Lianto.
Leonato.
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 Okay.
That's how you pronounce it. That's his name.
Okay, so that's Agent Coulson's name.
And
Coulson, that was it, not Carter. My bad. Anyway. Anyway, so that's and then of course some other stuff happens. Like there's a Benedict
and Beatrice,
who have great chemistry, by the way. Even with Shakespearean language, they have fantastic chemistry. And
they really do.
Benedict, I feel like he struggled more with the dialogue than a lot of black actors did sometimes.
But he was great at the physical comedy.
He was great at the physical comedy. That's kind of where he made up for it a little bit.
Yes.
I thought he was great.
I mean, I really enjoyed. He was very funny. A lot of that came from the physical humor of it, though. Like, I felt like, at least in the beginning, I felt like he struggled more with the Shakespearean dialogue than the other actors.
Yes.
I thought he did a good job.
I mean, all of these actors do great jobs with the language. They really do. I mean, so when it's kind of a little more weak than the others, it's a little more noticeable. Maybe just me. Maybe I'm being too picky. I don't know.
I thought he did a good job.
He did, and I really liked his character. But there's this great scene, like halfway through the movie, where you probably know what I'm talking about, which is how is Benedict and Beatrice hate each other for the first act of this movie. And basically they decide as a joke to basically like, you know what, I bet we can make them fall in love with each other. Whereas like Prince, Junkie Guy, and Agent Coulson. I know, I'm terrible with names. Claudio and Leonato. Leonato, okay.
And Don Pedro.
Okay.
Conspired to.
I feel like this is turning into like a language, like an English class. Leonato. Something a syllable is pronounced on screen.
Should do that.
If I have time.
That would be funny.
If I have time, I get one of those bouncy balls to like kind of go.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so they decide, like, you know what, I bet we can make them fall in love with each other. So when the Benedict's outside doing, like, lamenting about the fact that his friend's getting married, they decide
how he'll remain a bachelor for the rest of his life,
because you don't know where this is going. I'm fairly certain Shakespeare invented the whole Disney princess syndrome, where we fall in love in less than 5 seconds. I'm pretty sure we have Shakespeare to blame for one of my hated cliches, was the 3 days fall in love syndrome. But you know what? I'm gonna overlook it here, but
it's a little hard to believe.
Yeah, it's Shakespeare. You kind of just go with it. But anyway, so let's put on some tunes, and the iPod comes out, and they put it on. They start dancing, and of course they start talking about how Beatrix is secretly in love with Benedict, and he just pops out the corner, like Benedict's listening to the conversation
through the window.
Through the window, it just keeps popping up, and like increasingly.
Yeah, and the glass doors.
So basically, like they start talking about, I'm gonna try to slide my way out of the for the sake of presentation. Oh, so it just goes like this.
That's a good demonstration.
Yes.
And it just kind of does that. The best part was when they're in the big open glass doors, all of a sudden he just comes rolling out of the side and just like, grabs like a branch and hides it above his face. And it's one of those things, it's kind of hard to describe without sounding silly. It is very silly, but again, it's also Shakespeare. He kind of did a lot of that.
Yes.
It's cute.
It is cute, and I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I mean, that's what it is. It's just a fun movie. It's Joss Whedon. He knows how to do that.
And it's fun, and it's sophisticated, and it's classy, and it has a very classic look to it with the lighting choices and how it's edited and how it's shot. It's and very and the music. It's very simple.
It's very complimentary.
It's very complimentary. Did you notice that during the first party scene, how the line in Our Heart Tells of Woe will be changed into Hey Nani Nani were lyrics in the song?
Yeah.
I thought that was a very nice nod to the Shakespearean language.
Yeah, it's like all that it all complements each other really well. Like, it's not like Romeo plus Juliet, where you have Shakespeare language in modern days and it's really distracting because it doesn't work. This one, it does work.
Yes, very well.
Like, it complements, like Joss Whedon did a good job blending like more modern elements into a 16th century play. At least in my opinion. I really enjoyed this movie just in general. I think it's probably my favorite I've seen so far.
Same
and it's pretty funny if you understand the language.
Yes.
Yeah. I keep using that word a lot, but let's face it, it's kind of you have to understand. Yeah, you have to understand.
Well, I think after a while, if you're not used to it, it clicks.
Shakespeare did create his own words.
He did. He made up a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So yes, it is a different language, but if you pay attention and you are able to grasp it, you'll get a lot of the jokes. Like towards the end, when Benedict and Beatrix were saying, "Okay, we'll get get married. Benedict said a line that was the 16th century version of "Shut up and kiss me."
Yeah.
It's like, what was that one Craig Ferguson routine? He's like, Shakespeare sweared all the time. He used that thick Shakespearean language, so no one knew he was cussing. So, Shakespeare like, to be or not to be? Fucked if I know.
I saw a play once at my community college years ago called "I Hate Hamlet."
Oh, really?
Yes, fun show. And one of the lines in it was from this kind of actor agent character, and his client was telling him, "Oh, I'm gonna play Hamlet," and his agent says, "Shakespeare? Algebra on stage?" That's basically what it sums up to, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was like, I think a lot of us got a lot of the jokes, and I think
Yes,
the audience did. I got a pretty receptive audience to this too. Like, I think they got
Except
a lot
for the
of
one
the humor.
person who was snoring towards the end.
They were snoring?
Yes.
Yeah, there was a guy that...
Yeah. There was a guy to the left of
That's
Lauren
cute.
and I who was snoring.
Yeah, I think he fell asleep at the very end.
Yes.
At the very end.
What an uncultured swine.
No, he just looked tired.
Well, trying to follow what they're saying can be tiring, I'll admit. First time I watched Hamlet, I had to watch with subtitles and pause it every like 20 minutes just to catch up.
Oh. Yeah.
But it's like how much more to say about it? It's like, I highly recommend it. We kind of had to go out of our way to go see this because it's the only theater it's playing it in all of San Jose, pretty much.
Santana Row.
Yeah, we're in Santana Row right now. It's like the only place that's playing. You have to go out of your way to go find this
Across the
thing.
street from the Winchester Domes that they're gonna close down.
Tear.
Which is kind
Which you were snapping pictures of all the way back
I know,
over
yeah.
here.
Yes, but it's worth the schlep.
It is definitely worth the trip, and I think it's probably my favorite films of the year so far that I've seen. And granted, again, that's not really saying much. That being said, I've actually seen some pretty good movies lately, so maybe it's...
Especially this weekend.
Yeah, it's like for this and From Up and Poppy Hill, I think are my favorite movies so far that I've seen this year, which is kind of saying a lot, basically, because both are more indie movies. So
Well, remember how I told you that this year I've seen more mainstream films than I have in years. This is typically more of my speed. I usually go for more indie films, so I'm used to the higher overall quality like this. So it's nice to kind of get back to that. Now, if you want to see more indie films, I'll sign up for more stuff.
That would be cool.
Noted. That being said, you're on this show a lot.
I know.
So not that I don't appreciate it. Don't get me wrong.
I know.
I'm glad for your company, but
It's okay.
but anyway, it's like, I honestly can't think of much I didn't really like about this movie. Like, in all honesty, I just thought it was just pretty damn good.
Agreed.
The acting is incredibly strong. They knew they knew what they were doing. The directing is straightforward. It's very to the point. It knows that it's strong actors and lets them do their thing. It doesn't try to distract you with the unnecessary visual squab, or you just go see it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's worth the trip easily.
And Joss Whedon has an awesome house. I think
He
his
does
wife
have a-
designed it.
Nice.
I think.
Does he? Well, that
I
would
believe
explain
so.
a lot of it.
Yeah, I believe. I think that's what I read.
Now
Yeah.
before we end though, I do want to talk more about Nathan Fillion because he had one of the best lines in the movie. Nathan Fillion is when he plays like the security chief of the area, I guess, like that, and basically, again, he just dives into the language flawlessly. Like I think there's a part where continuous joke where he's kind of a bumbling buffoon, where he captures like the evil prince's two evil henchmen. And like the girl calls him an ass. That becomes like a running joke for like 20 minutes afterwards.
Let it be noted that I am an ass.
Like, let me know that I'm an ass. That she called me an ass. I'm like, I am not an ass. I'm perfect. And, yes, you are, Nathan Fillion.
I think he did say, "I am an ass."
He did.
He did.
You guys are like,
Yeah, he
let it
did.
be known that she called me an ass and stuff like that. He just does a great job in here. I kind of wish there was more of him in the movie, but of course you're limited by this, obviously the script. You can't really change all that much without people calling you out on it.
I love his facial expressions.
Oh yeah, like again, they perfectly complimented what he was saying. He just knew how to do it so well. And Nathan Fillion, and the off chance you're watching this, call me.
Yes.
We'll do lunch.
Um,
How awesome would that be?
That would be
Oh my god, that would be amazing. I I'm just gonna say I love Captain Mel.
I mean, this is the second we've seen him in this week.
Yes.
He was in Monsters University too, and he was awesome in that. Granted, he played the over-the-top fraternity. I caught myself this time. Fraternity leader, who every time he comes on screen pops, they just the collar pop, and it's like, like you can come with us, but only the cool kids can come. It's Neon, that kind of guy. But it does what Nathan Fillion does: be charming, likable, and perfect. You know. Who should be Ant-Man. Anyway. Just saying. Anyway, that's not gonna happen, but I can dream. So I guess unless anyone else has anything to say, we should talk about trailers.
I have the list.
Yeah, we got a lot of indie trailers.
Did you want to say anything?
There was one very small nitpick that I noticed. There's a lot of drinking in this movie.
Yes, there is
in practically every scene.
Yeah, there's always a glass of wine or something. In fact, there was that odd as hell. The one scene that was kind of odd was with was it Conrad? Or junkie guy?
Claudio.
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 I'm getting better. I was closer this time. Claudio is like out of nowhere is in the pool with this like snorkels on for no discernible reason.
And then Don John.
Other than this will look great on the poster.
And a martini.
And a martini.
And martini is like, oh, like for no discernible reason other than this will look great in the poster. And then like the prince and his henchmen just come out of the water out of nowhere.
That was funny.
It was funny. It was
kind
like
of creepy looking.
A little bit.
Other than that, was like, well, that was kind of random imagery.
Yes.
That was great.
I like the dialogue scene that came afterwards too, with like the whole betrayal of friends thing. Like again,
Yes.
And that's when things started taking a little more turn for the dramatic, and of course the overcomplicated misunderstandings that Shakespeare is so well known for. And we got the actor just even it's so odd, you kind of forget that it's odd because the actor is so good. Even if they do kind of swim as if no, this isn't weird at all, just ignore us. And then you had the Benedict with the rap or whatever you call it, you know, for the masquerade.
The mask?
Yeah.
How was the only one with kind of like a
rap.
Like I don't know what you call it. Yeah, turban. I don't want to say it without being offensive.
Sorry.
It's okay. We've said worse.
True.
And
we've had whole conversations about racism and rapistries, I think.
And incest.
And incest. Yes, let's not forget that. Come on, you know I had to mention it at least once.
Twice now.
Well, in this particular review.
Ah, yes.
You did not see a man getting raped by the rapistry. I'm saying my piece. I'm saying my piece. That's all I will say.
I don't think a rapistry discriminates, but
it's disgusting.
It is.
You're lying.
Well, at least
it's so sexist.
At least you're upgraded film quality wise for your second review here.
You could not get any more different from Evil Dead than Shakespeare comedy.
From Sam Raimi to Joss Whedon.
From Sam Raimi to frickin' Shakespeare.
Yeah.
And dismembered limbs. Anyway.
Overall, I thought the movie was excellent. It was well done, well edited. You know, the cinematography was beautiful. Just the whole flow of the movie worked. And I think the actors did an excellent job.
Yeah.
What they, had to hold up.
Yeah,
I think they did
pretty much agree with that. Yeah, I really loved it. I love the characters had great chemistry with each other and know how to make it work for them. They know how to play their strengths, and I thought that really showed. Great directing, great style. I love the humor. The humor was great, both the physical and the dialogue. I thought were great. If you can catch the jokes in the dialogue, they're sneaky and they're fast, but they're there.
Yeah, I loved it. I want to get it when it comes out on DVD. I absolutely loved it.
Okay, so on that note, trailers.
Fruitville Station.
With starring that guy from Chronicles and Parenthood.
And based on a true story.
Yeah, I remember that story.
It looks pretty good.
It looks okay. I mean,
I'm interested in seeing it.
Me too.
Yeah, it looks okay. I don't know. I think I was going kind of annoyed by that particular story, but I don't know. I don't really understand all the way through, so who knows.
About Time.
That was that kind of weird looking movie with Amanda Peet and that guy who played Davy Jones in like in every British movie, but you never remember his name.
The makers of Pirate Radio made that.
Pirate Radio? I haven't heard of that one.
I have that movie.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, it's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. I've actually never seen it, so.
Okay, the next time you have a gathering, I'll bring the DVD.
Okay, there you go then.
But this film About Time is about a
family that for some reason can travel in time.
Yeah, a Britishman who with the ability to time travel, and it actually looks pretty good. I thought
it looked interesting.
That's cute. That's another one that I'd like to see.
I mean, I would like that power. I mean, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
It would, but it could also be potentially dangerous and heartbreaking.
Yeah, but at the same time, if I can undo some of the mistakes I've had in my love life, that'd be nice. it's like, oh crap, yeah. I'll be right back, and then
Yeah, that would definitely be useful.
Be useful, yes, I would say so.
Then the other one is Closed Circuit.
I don't remember
which was
the British spy.
Oh, is that the one with Eric Bana?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that one looked kind of like, it looked almost like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy with more action.
Really?
At least that's the impression I got out of it.
I thought it was more trying to track down terrorists, pretty much.
Well, wasn't Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy essentially the same thing?
Yeah, kind of. They were more like spies, though, like Cold War.
Yeah, true. This one's much more like lawyers.
Like actual, a lot of people dying because of...
Oh, yeah, because the truck blows up. I forgot about that.
No, the whole, like, market blow up.
Or a lot of British movies you got trailers for, except the next one, which was
The Way, Way Back.
The Way, Way Back, which Patrick actually saw that movie.
Really?
Last Thursday. He said it was okay. Like, he said it was enjoyable enough.
Looked funny.
Like, he got a pre-screen for it, and it looks cute. It's like, we might go see it if we have time. Depends on what else we got going on that weekend. Because
of the trailers we got, this is just me, but that was the story that appealed to me the least. I mean, it...
Well, it does. It's made by. It has this little Miss Sunshine vibe going on for it, which makes sense. Made by the same people, but still.
I liked Little Miss Sunshine. I don't know, something about the idea of an adult child going back into the custody of a, shall we say, somewhat neurotic parent. Seeing that does not appeal to me at this point in my life.
Yeah, but that neurotic parent has Steve Carell. Who doesn't like Steve Carell? Like, well, I hate Anchorman, even I like Steve Carell. So.
Who was in Anchorman?
I know. He was the only part I liked in Anchorman.
Yes, I know.
Uno Mas. A Girl Most Likely. The Kristen Wiig movie.
I don't even remember that one.
It's about, I think, a failed playwright that goes insane and
that's the one that I was just talking about.
Oh really? Okay.
My bad.
So we're clearly talking about two entirely different movies here.
Yes.
Yeah. The way back was the one with Steve Carell and the beach house.
And Sam Rockwell.
Okay.
Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell.
Well.
That's right. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
That one looked good. The main thing that I know Sam Rockwell from is from Conviction, and he gave a good performance in that. So yes. I'll give it a shot.
I'm trying to remember the last one. I don't even remember the trailer for it.
It's the basic story is I think she's a failed playwright, or she failed in whatever her career was, and she had like a mental breakdown, and goes back into the custody of her.
Oh, that little turd.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, which was the one that I.
Now I know why I forgot it.
Yeah.
it looked pretty unremarkable.
Yes, it did. That's the one that I meant when I said that. Of all the trailers we saw, that's the one that I would probably want to see the least.
I don't know. It didn't look very good from where I was standing. I just
agreed.
It looked kind of like it's like those annoying comedies where you know where it's kind of gonna go, because like it's two people, like usually some kind of sibling and a parent, who originally hate each other, but then through the movie they go on some wacky adventure. They learn to care for each other and learn about each other's flaws, and you know exactly where it's gonna go. You know exactly how it's gonna end. Predictable is as predictable does. Maybe that's just me being a cynical asshole. I don't know. As I talk to like the two most optimistic people in the group.
Really?
Okay, well, I take it back. I remember your big wedding review.
Well, you haven't taken her to see a bad movie yet.
Well, that depends how you say about Evil Dead, but
I'd say that wasn't the best. I'm not a horror movie fan.
You were laughing through most of that, though.
I couldn't take it seriously.
Okay.
I mean, you have to like horror films to like that stuff when I'm more of like a Shakespeare comedy person.
Okay,
I
perfect.
I like this movie.
Okay, so final thoughts, anyone?
Loved it.
Go see it.
Ditto. So I think that's all we got then. Nice fast summary. I like it. So we will be back either tomorrow or Monday with World War Z. So, and then the Blaine Rain.
Bling ring.
The Blaine Rain, the Emma Watson movie. Directed by the guy who directed Lost in Translation, apparently.
The lady. Sophia
Yeah, my bad.
makes
the
good
person.
movies.
Sophia Coppola.
Lost in
Sophia.
Translation is one of my favorite movies. So
Sophia Coppola, daughter of Francis Ford Coppola.
Yes.
yeah. Well, it's directed one of my all-time favorite movies, so we'll see how that goes, because the trailers did not look very good. So we'll see how that turns out, and we'll see you all then. So.
Bye.
Bye.